Hello, welcome to my YouTube video about gardening for a variety of purposes. This first garden I'm going to show you is in my front yard, right in front of my driveway, and it is my butterfly and bee garden. So join me as I go through these plants and the different advantages to planting them, both for yourself and for the environment. Okay, plant number one, the milkweed. This one in particular, the soulmate milkweed. Why did I plant this? Well, it is the favorite food source for monarch caterpillar butterflies to eat and also to lay eggs on. And because of that, it's very valuable for your garden if you like butterflies and you want them around. Also, the monarch needs all help they can. It was endangered not too long ago. I believe it still is. So, butterflies like it, bees kind of like it, therefore I like it. This is a Floristian white blazing star. This particular plant, the reason why I planted it is because it is a very good food source for fully grown butterflies fluttering around looking for pollen. It's also, bees also like it, and also apparently hummingbirds. So for those reasons, I like this plant as well. Plus it's supposed to grow really tall and be really beautiful. Next plant. This guy here, as you can tell, the stem is starting up pretty well. This is Echinacea, the Echinacea plant. It's of the coneflower family. This particular one will get purple. Why did I plant this? Well, the monarch butterfly, or the caterpillar I should say, once it's nice and big and fat, ready to transform into a chrysalid, it needs very strong leaves to hang itself under so they can be protected from the elements while it undergoes its transformation. And this plant is one of their favorites to do this. So I've planted it right next to a bunch of these, which is their food source as caterpillars. So once they're nice and full, ready for transformation, they will crawl over and make a little home here under this plant. So butterflies like it, bees like it once it's flowered, and hummingbirds maybe. Therefore I like this plant too. Next plant. This guy here is also a milkweed. It's a different variety. It is called the Hello Yellow butterfly milkweed. I'm taking a chance with this one. It is apparently zone 4, which means that it cannot survive minus 35 degrees or worse. So I'm taking a chance. I'm next to the lake. Apparently by the lake we are zone 4 technically. But, you know, we all know Thunder Bay can get really cold, even by the lake. Taking a chance, see if it survives the winter. But same purpose as the, swamp milkweed here, or a soulmate variety. It basically is food for the caterpillars. Butterflies like it, bees like it, therefore I like it. Next plant. We have here the Hydecote Blue Lavender. This small guy will not be so small. Hopefully in a bit it will keep growing and develop some nice purple flowers. This particular plant, the reason why I planted it is simply because bees and butterflies both like it, as well as perhaps hummingbirds. Therefore I like it. Next plant. This here, as you can see from the sign, is a Sun Sparkler Wildfire Stonecrop. Now why did I plant this in my butterfly and bee garden? Well, this guy does not flower immediately. It's going to take a while. So late summer to early fall it will start flowering a big old flower. I'm not sure what it's going to look like. I'm pretty excited to see. And the reason why I planted this is because the butterflies might have food, you know, and bees might have food over these flowering plants soon. But in the fall, sometimes it's hard to find flowers. And so I planted this so that in the fall, when there's not a whole lot of food, they can come here and find a flower. So bees like it, butterflies like it, therefore I like it. Next plant. This here is another stone crop variety. Now this is a Sun Sparkler Limezinger stone crop. Pretty entertaining name. It's a bit more green rather than red compared to the other one. Same purpose as the other stone crop I planted. It flowers in the fall and therefore will be food for my butterfly and bee friends late in the year. Butterflies like it, bees like it, therefore I like it. One thing to know about this garden, so this is my bee and butterfly garden. I'm not planting anything edible for me here, and so I'm focusing on that aspect to help my butterfly and bee friends and other bugs as well. And you know, so I'm helping the environment. Hopefully, the more bugs, the more bees, the more butterflies, the better, because then that means that's a food source for other animals like birds, and so it goes up the food chain. So that's my bee and butterfly garden. As you can see, the soil here is different from here. I changed it up. I added soil better for flowering trees, flowering plants. So that's it. That's my bee and butterfly garden. Hope you enjoyed it. Let's check out the other side of the property with vegetables. Speaking of monarchs, here's one. He's early. He's one of the earliest monarchs I've ever seen. I don't know if you'll find any food, buddy, unless you go in my front yard. Here he goes. Yeah, that's definitely not where my plants are, but time to turn to this garden plot here we have. So I'm going to hand the camera over to my wife. Right now. Carrots or carrots. Carrots like loose soil so that they can grow bigger, and I know this from experience because last year my carrots did not do so well. This year we're making sure the soil is loose enough so that they can actually grow. So we have a little walkway here. We're going to stick to this walkway because obviously we don't want to step all over the soil, compact it. Some other things maybe we should talk about when it comes to this soil. It is, you can see there's some rocks in here, but that's okay. It's been supplemented by some manure. I believe last year, I was talking to a person who took care of this last year. They put alpaca manure. Oh, nice burn. You want these guys in your garden. Okay? They're your friends. You know what they do? They eat all the broken leaves and dead roots and all kinds of, they'll find any kind of organic material, eat it, and then they poo out liquid gold for your garden. Alright, so next we're going to plant some beets. Now, I don't have as many, but beets need a little bit more space than carrots, so... Leading me on a doctor's bed. In a garden where a loaf of bread. We've been hiding in the old grass. Scoring one, scoping at somebody nice. Slide down and shoot down a root. You're gonna feel a black button for me. Jack it up, jack that one. Squirmy woman is a lousy friend. A crummy lover with a heavy hand. A leafy wormy in a nasty part. Burning buried in a broken heart. Get a cool piece of color, so you're not my red rock. Hold it down a white hot like cookie. Look at that worm. I'll tell you now.
You're gonna know anything.
Dirty woman digging all my life. Sneaky woman and a weighted dice. Cotton woman and a broken bone.
I am now about 2 or 3 weeks later, and many things have sprung up. Let's have a look. Some little carrots coming up in a line. More here. As you can see, I should probably water them more often. We got some beets here coming up as well. That's not a beet, that's a weed. The beets have not come up as much as I would want them to. I wonder if something's eating them. There's one there. There's another one. Also, did not feature in the original planting, but here's the whole garden. I also have some tomato plants here. They're doing quite well, some of them anyway. Tomatillos, Malachite variety of tomatoes, and some beans grown behind the tomatoes, and hopefully they will use the tomatoes to climb up them, because these beans like to climb up things. So either along the wall or the tomato plant, either way is okay. And lastly, I have added in the middle of my garden this massive plant. This is a sunflower, and the reason why I added this sunflower, there's 2 of them actually, there's a third small one that sprung up here. The reason why I added these sunflowers is because they're called cash crops, which means they attract a lot of bugs, both beneficial and not so beneficial, to the sunflower. So if there's a bug that wants to eat some of my tomatoes or other peppers and stuff like that, they will be attracted to this plant instead of my other plants. And this is a tough plant. It can take some bugs. Also, it will attract predators to these bugs. So this is a good plant to have in the middle of your garden. It'll attract bees as well. Eventually, once, as you can see, the head is forming there. It's still quite small, but in a week or 2, hopefully it will be attracting some bees. It's quite big, and that's my garden. Also have some squash there. Always a good idea growing your own food. Food prices are going up right now, so I recommend everybody to look into it. Also have some here. Let's take a look at this. This is a shrub. It grows berries. It's called a tundra honeyberry, also known as haskap. They'll grow some oblong-shaped berries. Well, here's one right there. Okay, it's not ripe yet. It's going to keep growing and get deeper color. But yeah, fresh berries and also raspberries here. And I think that's it for my video. I hope you learned something, or at least maybe are inspired to grow your own food. I strongly recommend it. There's a lot to learn, and you learn a little bit every year. And it might be important. It might be much more important than it is now to grow our own food with what's going on in the world, supply chain issues, rising food prices, rising prices of everything. So grow your own garden, get knowledge, get some seeds, collect seeds, and have fun. See you around.
Squirmy woman, can I catch you twice? If you can duck off from a deadly chase, sneaky bird poking at your hiding hole. You go and slip it to somebody's soul. There's a worm in the pocket from the back of the heels. Wait that the sucker doesn't roll it. He's squirmy. Squirmy. Leading woman on a doctor's bed.